Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't know this was a thing, but it is. So, let's go for the guys who made Lone War. Oh boy, I'm kind of very excited about this, whatever this will be. But now we have gameplay, whatever the gameplay will be.
A hostile alien force arrives in the outer solar system, sending infiltrators to subvert Earth's governments as it builds an invasion fleet.
I like the idea.
As commander of the Resistance, you must recruit a council of leaders dedicated to protecting humanity from the...
I don't want to be that guy. I really don't. I'm loving the idea, by what I'm seeing. But the face... This, what I'm gonna suggest, would be very, very hard to do. But, hear me out, that is something that I think would be better. And that was something that happened to me when I was playing... Battletech? Yeah, Battletech. Hand-draw portraits are better than this. Look, nothing wrong with it, but I think, and I may be wrong about this, I'm gonna look that up and I'm gonna place something in the screen now saying that if I'm wrong or not, or showing from the older trailer. The portraits were hand-drawn, wasn't it? From the first trailer.
Looming alien threat. Councillors must contend with shifting political conditions to secure alliances and employ both warfare and subterfuge to
Oh, let me see, because I find that very interesting. Control nation mission success. I have gained a control pro. Wait. Let's go back and use my brain to try to read stuff, so it's better. I have gained control point of the resistance in Cuba. We now have 1 out of 2 control points. Consular. That sounds interesting, so let me go back to.
and employ both warfare and subterfuge to safeguard humanity as it moves into space. For victory will not be on Earth alone. Explore a detailed model of the solar system's planets.
Let me go back. It looks like war or risk. Where, look, I don't know if that's gonna be the case. In more than one, I'm kind of wanted that to be the case. You would have to fight against other factions, like a shadow organization, to take control of the world, or to just move the world. That could be, look, that could be even an interesting point. Different factions different resistances may have different ways to do. For example, one is a more, I don't know, how can I put it? One would be the more shadowy organization that would just be on the background and would let the world deal with the normal stuff like they want, but they would kind of tilt here and there to move in the way the world would move would be their way, but they would be on the background. And one would be this Iron Fist organization, then will rise from the ashes of the aliens invade the world and would use maybe fear-mongering of the... I don't know why. I don't know how is the background of this. To really, instead of like... I'm probably not going to be a thing because, as you see, you have US, but also here, you have Cuba being converted to your flag. So maybe I'm with something where you, like, this organization take control of the world and then unite it. Could be two different interesting play styles. For one for a more political gain, another for more conqueror gain.
Explore a detailed model of the solar system's planets, moons, and asteroids, and compete with other factions to harness the resources of these worlds,
This looks
with the ultimate
fucking
goal
cool.
of constructing a fleet to defeat the alien invaders. Establish mining outposts to extract the raw materials your forces will require.
That's
Build and
interesting.
upgrade space stations to develop new technologies and expand your industrial capacity. Defend your assets while deploying your fleet to combat both hostile human factions and alien forces.
Let me see something. I'm retarded, but I like the way uh, how can I put it? This ship designer works. I'm probably gonna be doing these stupid things, but those ship looks cool.
Command warships in battles where momentum and maneuver are keys to victory. And preserve the independence of humankind.
I would like to see how the combat works, because it sounds like predictable combat, and it's not my favorite. It does sound like predictable combat, and like I said before, it's not my favorite. I would be willing to give it a pass if, and that's a big if, it's only on this side, and like we noticed, there will be probably combat outside of that, maybe between factions and military, between on Earth and on other place, and it is less predictable. The reason, and let me be honest, the reason why I don't like this type of combat, I didn't go in too much on that on the Phantom Brigade style video. And Phantom Brigade, holy shit, Phantom Brigade has another problem. It's completely different. I wouldn't be complaining too much on here because, like I said, they are presenting the gameplay right here, right now. Therefore, there's not a. I'm not gonna say it's a problem. Now, for what I'm seeing, there's two ways this combat can go. Uh, there is a game, I think it's called Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, where it is. I don't know if that's the. I didn't play too much, but I'm trying to bring on my head where it's not turn-based, but it's not real time. It's like you set up the movement and you can go like you can set the movement 5 seconds, and 5 seconds later you already change. Like it's something. Then you give the order, but you can swap the order any moment without like needing to wait a whole turnaround. So you change the order. I don't know. It does sound a little bit like that. If you look up, I'm gonna go back after we finish this.
Terra Invicta, a grand strategy alien invasion game.
Where it is, I think. Yeah, here? No, here. Like, the thing is, and I can be, and probably am completely fucking wrong about this. Each of this would be a full turn, but you can, for example, change. For example, when the ship arrive here, for example, you can stop the clock again and readjust the order. Make sense? Another game that comes to mind with could be a very interesting combat like that is Battlefleet Gothica. That it does have a very quote unquote similar style where you have full control of the combat. It's real time but with pause. It took me fucking 10 minutes probably to remember how to formulate that. That would be a very interesting way to appoint combat. Still, I would like to see how more of the interaction between factions, the combat between factions, and the political thing. And again, I would prefer hand draw portraits, but I can understand why that would be more or less too pricey for the game, because hand draw portrait, depending on the amount of units then you can recruit, you would need to have like X hundred of hand draw. So the procedure generated by 3D modeling is a little bit more. It's probably a lot easier. Now, I would say, at the moment, yeah, I'm really kinda excited about the game. I hope I wouldn't pre-order if arrived to pre-order now. I would really wait to see, for example, more gameplay, like a not a 2 minute, like a 10-minute segment. It doesn't really need to be full gameplay. It could be like something that the developer explain. Right now, what I need is the developer explaining what is the game. That could be a lot more easy to get from the game, because right now the video, the two trailers are half and a half. They don't show much. They explain the concept. The aliens are coming. You have to prepare to fight the aliens while securing your hold on Earth. I'm still have the questions of how you secure your hold on Earth. It's XCOM like stuff where you're not the government. You would be like a second body outside of the government. Can you become the government? Stuff like that. There's a couple things that I'm still in doubt, and I hope uh, in the years to come they give a little bit of more focus on that. And of course, show how the combat really gonna works. One thing, uh, gameplay trailer, sure. There is a little bit of gameplay, but I would hope a little bit more of a gameplay. Like, when I heard about, oh, this is gonna be a gameplay trailer, I do hope they have a little bit of a more explanation on the gameplay. The only kind of things that I notice is there will be basic build. Holy shit! Today's not a good day for talking. There will be base building. There will be ship customization. There will be ship factoring. There will be some sort of diplomatic game, and that's it. It's more or less I know what I'm gonna have, but I'm still don't fully understand what the game is. Something that I will keep under my radar, and well, let's see what happens. See you around, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, that's interesting. There is a Kickstarter, and there's still 8 days to go. So, eh. And they already kind of suppressed the need. So let's see this 5-minute trailer, Kickstarter trailer. I hope that's given more or less the explanation that I want.
Hello there, I'm John Lumpkin. I'm the creative director at Pavonis Interactive, an indie studio based here in Colorado. I'd like to welcome you to the Kickstarter for Terra Invicta, our grand strategy alien invasion game. Even before our work on the Long War mods, I have always loved alien invasion stories. They're not only stories about the strange biologies and motivations of beings from the stars, but also about humans and how they respond when faced with an overwhelming and existential threat. I have always wanted to play a game that asked, what if aliens invaded our solar system today, and played from the top-down perspective that 4X and grand strategy games provide. I don't know that a game like that quite exists, so our team has set out to make it. And that's the story of Terra Invicta, which puts you in charge of leading the defense of Earth. So let's start with a look at the key pillars of Terra Invicta. First thing we wanted to explore is the geopolitics of an alien invasion. Your job will be to secure the support of Earth's nations so you can use their military and space power as you build a resistance.
That's kind of already answered more or less my question, that what is going to be, or more or less, how can we do it? Like, it's not, we can't take over the world, sadly. So we going to be more or less an XCOM organization.
Other human factions with different agendas for the aliens will be your antagonists over the course of the campaign. They'll range from alien worshippers to extremists determined to kill any human who comes into contact with them. You'll recruit a council of up to 6 spies, politicians, commandos, and scientists that you assemble and develop over the course of a campaign. They can bring nations into the resistance, hunt for alien infiltrators and their human allies, and even travel to space to advance your interests there. The aliens cannot be defeated on Earth alone. They control the high ground of outer space, and they have to be opposed there.
So we were
While it will
fucked.
take a while for the aliens to mount a full-scale invasion, you, as the leader of the Resistance, will only have so much time to industrialize the solar system, which will enable you to construct a fleet to defend the Earth. And that leads us to the second major pillar of Terra Invicta, letting you explore the strategic geography of the solar system.
Interesting.
Just as the locations and terrain of France and Eastern Europe and the Pacific Islands are all fundamental to a World War II game, the ever-changing positions of Earth, Mars, and the moons of Jupiter are all critical points in a war for the solar system. Your fleets will travel to your mining bases and research stations in journeys that may take months to complete, thanks to a realistic simulation of space travel that we're building under the hood. But Terra Invicta isn't just a management sim,
My question about that is like, oh, we simulate position, and how like mining bases on asteroids gonna work on that simulation position? Like, I doubt the asteroid. Holy shit! I really paused in the worst moment. The asteroid will change. Therefore, how that gonna work? How like in depth we gonna need like the supplies? Do we need to send food to the people? Does the mining is how can I put? Does the mining is automatically done? Who knows?
we're inspired by games like Mash of Orion that feature a meaningful combat layer on top of a rich strategy layer.
Okay, that's the part that I wanted to know more.
We're building that combat around a realistic simulation of Newtonian physics, where maneuver and positioning in 3D space are just as important as the firepower your ships carry. Remember, your ships are rockets. They can't bank like aircraft or use friction to slow to a stop like on Earth. You have to plan turns and burns to get them to where they need to be. Space combat will not look like what you've seen in the movies. At the heart of it all, though, is you, the player.
Okay, that didn't answer more or less what I said. Can I change? Like, it's real time, it's turn based, it's predictable, isn't?
And the decisions you'll make, and the story you'll create. Fans of our Long War mods may have heard me talk about offering you a big bag of tools to address an even bigger bag of challenges. That means we're not designing puzzles with a singular solution for you to discover, but instead building a multifaceted narrative
I like
simulation
this, I
in which
really
you
do.
develop your own strategies to determine humanity's fate. We've already created a great team of developers and artists that have gotten Terra Invicta to the cusp of an alpha, but we need your help to get us across the finish line and beyond. That's why our backer rewards focus on your contributions to the game. In developing the Long Wars, we've learned that engaged players have fantastic ideas for
Holy
mechanics,
shit.
story, and balance, and we would love your input and advice as we finish Terra Invicta. You can directly influence the release version of the game and our alpha and beta reward tiers. You can also take part in designing game content by naming a hab site, designing an org, or putting yourself in the game as a playable counselor.
No,
Your pledges
I
can
can't.
do so
I
much.
don't want that.
We'd love to add invasion scenarios set in 1946, 1980, 2070, or 2300.
That's
And
interesting.
include more spaceships to fight with, narrative chains to explore, and playable factions with unique victory conditions. We also have plans for a longer soundtrack, translations, and voice acting from around the globe. All of this will only be possible with your pledge. Thank you so much for your time and support, and let's go make a great game together. Hi, I'm John Lumpkin, the creative director at Pavonis Interactive, making Terra Invicta, and my wife likes to buy me V-neck t-shirts.
I like this guy no more.
That feature a meaningful combat layer on top of a rich strategy layer. How can something so far away be so loud?
I ask that question every time that a motorcycle will pass around on the front of my house. I empathize with the guy.
Try that again.
It's good because the scenario for the shot is beautiful as fuck. But I can't, like, I really was questioning, holy shit, how many times did he record that?
Terra Invicta isn't...
Be grateful that the bird didn't took a shit on you.
It's a large bird. This is a lost take.
Okay, let's give it a look on the Kickstarter thing. Backstory, he already explained. More or less, what I want to see here is the combat. Industrialize, explore, build. Okay. Still the questions are not here. Huh, interesting, a Cold War scenario? That's good. I would be honest here. Voice act is good and does give flavor, but I would push that far under. It's not something that it really would be that important for me. Gameplay, that was the trailer. The thing is, I still have the same doubts that I have when I watch the gameplay trailer of how the combat gonna work. The only question that was more or less answered is, can I take control of the entire government of the world? Sadly, that's not one of the options, which does make me a little bit sad. But that's life. We don't know. Maybe that on a different scenario that could happen. Now, as always, when I look on the Kickstarter, I will not say for you to go and back it. I just say, look for yourself. Give it a read on the design philosophy, on everything. Primarily, go for the risks and challenges here. If you really have the money to spare, go for it. If this game seems like something that it really was like piques your interest, something that you really want, go for it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is really it now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. This was the video. If you enjoyed, leave it a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. If you have anything to say, please leave a comment. And if you want to see what the hell is gonna be coming next on this mess, subscribe. And see you guys on the next episode.